Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom, the why, what, and how, where I show you how to use games so that your students can apply the language that they're learning. We're on section 3 of my book, The How. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And if you want to help me design these games, ping me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, the Duolingo Educators Network, Roxam, or reach me at studio-nemo.com. We're on chapter 18 of my book, part 2. My last one ran long. Sorry about that. I got to keep a better look on the time. We've been talking about crossword puzzles, especially for TPRS crossword puzzles, Pass the Cube games, Just Keep Swimming, which I stole from a drama department, and Reverse Hide and Go Seek. So again, these are the games that don't fit into any one category. I'm just putting them all together because they're all good games to teach something or practice something. All right, so this episode is mostly going to be about paper games. And let's start with the obvious origami. Origami is absolutely fabulous to teach first, second, third, next, finally. Here, let me move that out of the way so you can see any of your ordinal numbers where you've got the things going in order. Origami is great for that, but I don't normally do origami with my French or my Spanish classes because I feel very strongly that culture is inherent to the language, and I'd rather do things that are culturally specific for the other languages, although sometimes I do have something like when I want the students to pack a suitcase for our fake field trips, we make a little like an origami envelope, and I've got the instructions in French or in Spanish, and then the students can draw the clothing on and put it in the envelope. So if it's appropriate, I'll use origami for those classes. But mostly, you want to do something that's very cultural. So for my Spanish classes, we're doing we always do papel picado, of course. So there's some paper game that you can think of for your target language, I guarantee you. All right, next one, this is pretty fun. I call them fortune tellers, but as I've lived all over the country, some people call them cootie catchers. And these are great for numbers and colors, and I also make my students do them when we're learning future tense, so they can tell each other's fortunes. So if you haven't made it before, it's basically this little square thing with a bunch of you fold it until you get this thing, and then your fingers go behind these parts here, so it comes open. I should have taken a picture of it open. But your fingers go in there, and then you ask person number 1 asks person number 2 for a color or a number, whatever they've started with, okay? And then if it's a number, then they count and they open and close this as many times, okay? So, if this person's chosen 8, then they're going to open 1, 2, 3, 4, count up to 8, or, 1, 2, 3, 4, count up to 8, that many times, open and close it, okay? And then on the inside, it will be colors. Well, this is all the way inside, but you've got numbers on the first layer, colors on the second, or some of my students did colors on the first layer and numbers on the second. That's fine. Colors, somebody's going to choose a color, and then you spell out the color, okay, like rouge, R-O-U, G, and then open and close it that many times. And then they can go back and forth, numbers and colors, however many times they want, and then eventually they get bored, and whatever they land on, then they open up the cootie catcher, and there's their fortune written right here in future tense. Paper airplanes. I love to do paper airplanes because we can get a lot of prepositions of location with them. So teach your students how to fold a paper airplane. And when they're done, have them stand up, but don't let them throw it yet, because otherwise one person throws the airplane and nobody else is done. Everyone has to wait for everyone to be standing, and then you yell go, and everyone throws their paper airplane at the exact same time. And then they have to go grab their paper airplane, unfold it, and on the paper airplane write 3 sentences about where it landed. And then after school, you can very quickly eyeball them all and make sure that the sentences are grammatical. It doesn't take that much time. Just the having the stack of basically crumpled paper to go through is what takes a long time, but looking at the sentences isn't going to take you that long. All right, now, this one, don't tell the students what the name of it is, okay? It's snowball fight, okay? But don't tell them that. Don't tell the students what they're doing. Have them grab a sheet of paper, and don't let them write their name. You're going to have so many students who are Pavlovian. The very first thing they do is write their name on it. Tell them not to write their name, or get a new sheet of paper if they've already started writing their name. All right, have them grab the sheet of paper. You ask a question and have them write their answer very large on the paper. Okay. If for advanced classes, you can have them write several sentences, or you can do 2 truths and a lie. Works really good with this. But generally, I start my classes with so tell me one thing that you like, or tell me 2 things that you like, or something like that. Because usually we work on the I like sentences fairly early in the year, right? Okay. Then I tell my students I'm going to teach them some origami. And my French and my Spanish students are really excited because they know I don't teach them origami. But I've written my own down as a model, okay? And I say, okay, here you go. Here's the first thing we do. And then right in front of them, I crumple it up into a little ball. And then I yell, snowball fight, and I throw it, okay? And they just love that. That really perks them up. So they crumple up their papers, and they have a snowball fight. And you just let them keep throwing the papers at each other, because it'll land. They'll pick up one close to them, and they'll throw it as long as you can possibly stand it, which for me is usually about 30 seconds, honestly. And I stand in the middle of the room and I keep an eye, because sometimes people throw them and they wind up in awkward places that nobody notices, like behind my bag of ugly clothing that we use for skits, or under the desk, the teacher desk, which is hard to retrieve, or behind the computer cart or whatever. So just keep your eye on it and tell students to, hey, there's one over there, and keep throwing it in. And then after however long you can stand it, you say, okay, grab the snowball nearest to you, open it up, and now you got to go find the person who wrote it. Okay, so they've got to go around the class and they've got to say, not, did you write this? But, hey, do you like pizza? Because that's what it says on the paper. Oh, no, you don't like pizza? Okay, move on to the next person. Do you like pizza? So they got to go around, and I like to stand in the middle of the room, and I wait and listen quietly, and I start giggling, because there will always be like one lone straggler who's gone through everyone in the room and can't find his match. And I'm waiting for him to remember that I threw my own into the fray, and he has to come and talk to me to find the match. I think that's hysterical. Okay, and then when everyone's got their match, then you can use your popsicle stick approach and ask them, one at a time, hey, Bob, who was your partner, or what did he like? And so now they've got to do that transformation drill of, I had been asking Bob, do you like pizza? But now I have to say Bob likes pizza, so I might have to change the verb depending on the language. All right, I am a pirate, and you are one too is very good for clothing. So you start off with, or you choose a student and you have them say, I'm a pirate and you are one too if you're wearing pink socks. And anyone who's wearing pink socks has to jump up. The first person who jumps up is the pirate for the next round. I'm a pirate and you are one too if you're wearing a red shirt, whatever it is that they want to choose. All right, and I'm just at 10 minutes. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to link a video, which was it's a really fun game we do. It's a Harvard Project Zero thinking routine. Who am I? And we're just making connections amongst each other. It's very close to I'm a pirate and you are one too, except that they've got the visual string connecting them to each other. All right, I'm going to stop here since I'm over 10 minutes now, and our next episode is going to talk about more games that don't fit into any one category. Hope to see you there.